You know, it's one thing to make a mistake or not perform the movement correctly. It's a completely another issue when you can't take the tool that you're utilizing and set that up correctly. And I think that's one of the keys to making any tool successful and fun. You know, if you're not setting up the tool correctly, immediately it's going to place the tool and the exercise and the enjoyment of the exercise at a major disadvantage. And I think that's what happens a lot with band exercises because the band is so versatile. I want to take you through 5 exercises today that I think are being set up incorrectly regularly. And the reason I think this is because when you go ahead and you turn on YouTube or when you watch people demonstrate the exercises, they're demonstrating it incorrectly. And because of that, they're going to make the exercise much less efficient, much less safe, all right? And from an enjoyment standpoint, it's just not going to be as enjoyable. Let me take you through the 5 exercises that I think if you change up immediately the setup, you're going to enjoy a lot more. First of all, let's talk about resisted push-ups. You know, a lot of people when they do resisted push-ups, they go ahead and I see them put the band behind here, drop down, and do their push-up. Now, there's several things that's wrong with that, but here's the key thing that's wrong with it. The band is going to rub on your arms. So immediately it's going to make the exercise very uncomfortable because the band is rubbing on your arms. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and potentially the band is going to slide up and end up on your neck like so. Once again, major problem, not going to be enjoyable when you're doing that exercise. The third and final thing is you can't load the lumbar spine or the core stabilizers when you're doing the push-up. And yet that is the #1 reason why people fail at push-ups. It's not because of upper body strength. It's a lot of times because of poor core strength. The correct way to go ahead and do it, place the band in the small of your back, all right, or place it up at your shoulder blades if that's what you choose. Either way, the band should go between your body and your arm, all right, so that when you go down, you're in a perfect position, the band can't slide off, and you're ready to go ahead and do your push-up. Very simple. Make that adjustment in your push-ups and I think you'll enjoy it a whole lot more. Next exercise, pull-aparts. Very often I see people doing pull-aparts and they can't go ahead and do the pull-apart with the double band because it's too strong. So they immediately drop the band down and they go ahead and do the pull-apart like this. Well, here's the key thing that makes that incorrect. As I'm doing the pull apart, I've got this loose band that's flopping below me. That's going to become #1, very annoying, and #2, potentially fly up and hit you in the eye or in the face, which makes it a very unsafe exercise. Very simple to rectify. Take the band, flip it over behind you, and then you can go ahead and easily perform the pull apart with this situation or in this manner. Now, I would even take it a step further and place the band around your hands so the band is gripping onto your hands. So now as you go through the pull apart, you can easily go ahead and perform it and you don't even have to grip it. So you can use the flat construction of the band to go ahead and make the pull apart a much more convenient, much more enjoyable exercise using that setup. Overhead triceps with an attachment-free setting. Very often I see people go ahead and they stand on the band. First of all, I see them try to do it with 2 feet like this where they'll stand on the band and then they'll bring it up behind their head like so. Very challenging exercise to do. Plus it's going to torque your shoulders. And lastly, it's going to probably cause your lumbar spine to be placed in a hyperextended position, which is going to be very uncomfortable. Let's go ahead and let's stand on the band here. We place it here. Take it behind. Now here's the other mistake people make, is they go ahead and they let their body round out and they press the band over their head. Now the band is going to rub on your mid-back or your neck. It's going to irritate your hair on your head. It's going to rub against the mid-back and again become a very annoying exercise which is not going to be comfortable. Correct it. Get your eyes up. It immediately engages your trunk more effectively. Stagger your stance so your lumbar spine can stay in good shape. Place the hands behind your head and press straight up. So now the band is not going to touch your shoulder blades, it's not going to touch your head, and you're going to go ahead and have a much more enjoyable exercise. The last thing about this tricep press is this. When you grip the band, grip it with your hands here so that when you get up here, your little fingers are pointing towards the ceiling. Very often I see people grab it like this and put it behind. Now their wrist is going to go ahead and get torqued on and placed into a very hyperextended position, which is not going to be comfortable. Grip the band here, take it behind your head, press it up, keep your little fingers reaching towards the ceiling, and you're going to enjoy overhead tricep presses much more. Is mountain climbers. People will go ahead and place the band on their spine. First of all, they place it too high so they don't engage their lower abdominals. The lower abdominals are going to be engaged more aggressively and more effectively if the band is placed at your waistline down at the L5-S1 juncture or L4, L5. Either way, you're going to place it there. Now, once you get into this position, I see people place their hands too far out in front, which is going to cause the band to roll up your back. So subsequently, you're going to lose the feedback at your L5 juncture. Place the band on L5. Hook it onto the palms of your hands so your thumbs are not being torqued on. Place your hands down and get the band firmly pressed onto your lumbar spine so as you press up at L4, L5, you can engage your trunk. Go into this position and hold. If you want to make it a mountain climber, you go into that position. Plank or mountain climber. Irregardless, you should see the band placed on the low back. Again, very often people get it way up here. This is not going to make your plank challenging. There's no torque at your L5 juncture. As a result, the lumbar spine, the abdominals don't need to kick in because you don't have the force or the proprioceptive feedback happening at the correct area. Make that change and you're going to find mountain climbers with a band are extremely effective at engaging your core and really challenging your trunk stability. Is overhead presses. First mistake I see is people grab the band too close in, so as they go to push, they're actually having to push their elbows out and press overhead. I think the reason they do that is they're used to lifting dead weight and they know that typically they got to press it straight overhead. But the problem is that's going to rub the band on your arms, it's going to put your hands in a very close position, going to probably cause some shoulder impingement issues, rotator cuff issues. We don't want to go there. First of all, grab the band at shoulder width. Alright, place it there. Secondly, your thumbs should be through the band with your fingers over top. So when you bring it up into this position, it's already a wide position. Now, if you don't push apart like we recommend, and you push straight up, you still are going to clear the band off your arms and be much more comfortable. However, what I recommend is going ahead, push a little bit out, and you immediately get into the scapular plane and make it a much more comfortable exercise on your shoulder, take the pressure off your rotator cuff, and make overhead presses a much more shoulder-friendly exercise.